This is Ripples Around the World. I'm so thrilled to have Erin Kurt here today. Erin and I met many years ago. She's got such a great story. I'm excited to have you here today, Erin, to talk to us about working in various places around the world, about supporting amazing women and the work that you do, and about how to really celebrate yourself as a CEO and as a woman, as a business owner. I'm so glad you're here. Yay!
Hi, ladies. Hello, everybody. Yes, thank you. It's my favorite thing to talk about, really.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about your journey. I know you're from Canada, but you haven't lived here in a long time, right?
We left right after my son was born. So that was like 2007 we left. So
Right.
it's been a long time. Yeah.
And then
But
you went to
I
England,
always love
right?
it.
Or did
We
you go
first
to France first? I can't remember.
Oh, well, I've been to France. No, that was before. So I've lived so many places. I think the first place I went to live was France, and so I lived there. And then I went and I lived in Brazil, so São
Oh,
Paulo,
okay.
and that was by myself. And then with my husband and my child, we moved to England. So we still actually have a house in Windsor that we rent out now. But we lived there for 10 years, and I had another child, so I have a daughter as well. So we lived there for 10 years, and then we had an internal desire for change and expansion. And some friends of ours who were neighbors had gone to Abu Dhabi. And they came back one Christmas and talked to us in the middle of a very cold winter that we were having in England. How, oh gosh, every day seems like you're on holiday. So we went and visited them just to see what it felt like. And when we traveled to Dubai, actually, we were driving around and something said to us, why does it just feel so normal to be here?
Hmm.
Yeah. And so we said, okay, let's put our energy here. I think this is the next place. And it took a couple of years to manifest it, but we manifested the move and we lived there for about 4.5 years. And just last year, we had one of those beautiful COVID stories that happened where where life happens to you and you're like, oh, all right then. So we have always had for about, oh God, I don't know, 7 years, a summer house in Turkey in the Mediterranean. And we used to come here about a month in the summer and things like that, but that was about it. And then we came here last summer just for a break, and we ended up not leaving because while we were here, my husband learned that his job was no longer. So,
Oh, wow.
yes, and we could not get back into, because of the airlines closing and stuff, we couldn't get back. So we had to literally stay here, but move our whole entire house and car from Dubai to here. And we've been living in the Mediterranean, which is amazing.
That's wonderful.
So
Wow,
it's,
what a story.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
wild. Now, I know you support women. Obviously, you do the bulk of your work virtually, I imagine, being able to be flexible where you
We've been able
live.
to hear. Yeah.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about why you do what you do.
Ooh. That is a good question. And I just got chills because my journey is a very personal one as to what brought me to where I am today. To make a long story very short and succinct, I had my son, we moved to England, and I had always been a school teacher. So, teacher has always been in my life. But I didn't want that lifestyle anymore. I wanted to be a mother. But when I came to England and got, raising him and everything was flowing, that teacher in me, it was like a pain. I need to do it.
Yeah,
Yes. When you have something in you, it will keep knocking at you and nudging you, and it won't let go of you. And so, teacher has been in me since I was 8 years old. I knew I wanted to be that. And so, what brought me onto online is that I just felt like I needed to share things about parenting because that was my kind of technique, is how to bring the best out of children and make them self-discipline themselves. And so I learned how to code. And I mean, my God, it was so much harder back then.
It's so true.
Oh my Lord. So I brought this onto the internet and built up that business. And I found so much, like I was getting featured in the national newspaper of Israel. And I was getting featured everywhere on radio shows, but I wasn't making any money.
Right.
That was and it was paining me because I had to bring money to our family situation, and there was all this kind of global intrigue with what I had to say, and everybody resonated, but I couldn't make money out of it, which was bizarre. So through this whole process, I think this is when I met you. I had started to make some money, but it was really when we were in a group program together that I learned, oh, you don't just send one email, you send multiple emails.
Right.
It doesn't always work that way. So that was like a huge aha moment. So I expanded myself. But then during this process, life happens, and we had actually moved to Belgium, and that was another upheaval. And then I had had 2 miscarriages, and life was like going all over the place. And I was trying to build this business, and I'm doing all this stuff and suffering physically. And I had such a moment of depression happen. Like, I think it was after I had my daughter, something happened with my hormones or whatever. But I went into an extremely deep depression, and I couldn't get myself out, no matter how, I was always a spiritual person, but it was very scary. And my husband and I came actually to Turkey here to a spiritual retreat. And it was all about cleaning the gunk out. And I realized how much gunk I had around abundance, about worth, about my enoughness and all this kind of stuff. And I realized, oh my God, that's what's really making me depressed and things. And at that retreat, I had a profound spiritual experience. And this might be too much for your audience, or maybe not enough, I don't know. But after a huge clearing, I somehow had what I call a near-death experience, but didn't have to die to have it. I merged with Source. It was like I was part of the everythingness and the nothingness. And it was pure bliss. It was all knowingness. It was like I just knew exactly how the universe worked. Everything just was in a split second. And when I came back into my body, I looked around and I was like, did anybody else experience that? Was that? And I felt like the sun was shining. And after that experience, it was like my depression was gone. And I just, from then on,
pretty small in that scope.
100%. And after that, I was given the message that this is what I'm supposed to teach. All of this knowledge I just somehow knew, but I was like, well, how are you supposed to teach that when I just kind of know it now? And that was my journey. Like, how do you do this? And then feeling good enough to teach it. And then it was just one day it came when one last person said, Erin, the life you live and how you do things is just so elegant. And I was like, I really do feel like I live the elegant life now. Everything just flows. I don't have to push anymore. I don't have to try. I don't have the depression. I feel more in tune with myself and the universe, and things magnetize to me. I don't have to try so much. And it just kept growing and growing. And now the elegant life is worldwide. Abundance is flourishing. My impact is flourishing also the way I want it. So that's a long story short, but that's why I do what I do now. It's a calling.
Amazing. That's amazing. I love that. So you've had the experience of a struggling entrepreneur. You've had the experience of the successful entrepreneur, and not just financially, but where it feels like a slog versus where it's flowing and elegant, as you say.
Totally.
How do you celebrate yourself as as an entrepreneur, as a CEO?
Well, okay, so celebrating yourself. For me, I think your business itself is a celebration of you if you do it right.
Yes.
Because what I'm always talking to my community about is everybody says, what's my purpose here in life? But I say everybody has the same purpose. But what we have unique about us is our calling. And the calling is this divine programming that is in you that you are meant to, or you don't have to. We have the free will, but it's there for you to use to express it fully. So if you create a business and it is fully expressing every possible aspect of you, your business is a celebration of you. And the more you put you into the business, the more of a celebration is. So I know that might be a different answer, and I can go more specifically into that, but it's truly.
I love that. You said that everyone has the same purpose, but we have different calling. Can you talk a little bit more about what do you mean by everyone has the same purpose?
Well, when I had this spiritual experience and this knowingness of oneness, it was, I could feel all of the, I say, whatever word you want to use for this higher power, it could be source energy, God energy, consciousness, whatever. It has certain characteristics of it, just it is. And some of them are unlimited abundance, ever expanding, beauty, creativity, kindness, love, generosity, receptivity. These characteristics are all of it. And by creating each of us with our certain programming, we can expand those characteristics. We can expand beauty, we can expand creativity, we can expand generosity, we can expand unlimited abundance. And those characteristics just always want to expand. And by creating us, we can help it expand. It's a brilliant way of doing it. But with everybody's different programming, that helps different aspects of it, and certain individuals and the ways in which we do it can help it in different ways. So that's what I mean.
Calling. Okay, so our calling is how we do that in our world.
How we fulfill our purpose.
Yeah. Which is the expansion of all of these beautiful attributes. Yes. Oh, I love that. I got goosebumps. That is wonderful. Yes. That is wonderful. I love it. So tell me a little bit about what you do with, do you work mostly with entrepreneurs or a variety of kinds of women?
All kinds of women. Yes, I do have entrepreneurs. What happens is even if they're not entrepreneurs, many women who come to me and fall in love with themselves, they realize they want to be entrepreneurs. So many become entrepreneurs after working with me. That happens all the time. So I get a lot of corporate people, but I get a lot of, I get everybody.
People women looking for grounding in their own spiritual connections.
Their own connection, their own feeling of fulfillment, their own feeling of joy, their own feeling of trying to be confident and authentic. They're so tired of feeling not enough and not knowing, who am I? Who am I? Am I even important? What kind of life should I be living, or can I even live? And this goes for everybody. When I lived in Dubai, I had clients who were multi-millionaires, and they came to me and said, I can't live another day of my life like this. Because money doesn't bring you fulfillment and joy. No. So I give them both.
Nice. I love that. Tell me about how you've grown your business. You work on your own. Do you have staff? Do you have people that you work with? Tell me about how you've grown. I'm always curious. We just hired our first full-time employee, so yay!
Oh,
She's fabulous. We've had a bunch of contractors, but this is our first full-time employee. Tell me a little bit about how you've grown your team. How did you know when? How did you do it? Because there's always that little bit of you kind of have to do it before you're really ready.
100%. And that was the message that really helped me get over that, because you start finally making some really nice money and you're like, and I got to give it away. But if I can share one message, it is 100% truth when people tell you you have to hire some help so that you can do your genius and your business will grow. 100%. So I can guarantee this to anybody listening. So what did I start out with? Because I was like trying to do everything by myself and being a mother. We do. Yeah, I mean, and there's a part of that that's good, because you have to know how businesses run. And you have to know how to tell people what you want when you hire them. So I think it is good that everybody does start that way. But then it gets to a point where you realize you're doing things that you hate doing. That you put off doing, or that take you so long, or that you start resisting or procrastinating on. You should do them, but you don't want to do them. And I started realizing, for me, literally, I need to have a virtual assistant all the time who knows how to do all the website stuff, the setting up of the this and the that, and it's not my forte. I don't like it. Yeah, seriously. I don't care about it. You need it, but please just do it for me. So I found someone many years ago, and I've gone through many, and you really have to find someone that works with you, and you have to communicate what you value. Because I would say this is a huge tip. As soon as you are going to hire someone, always state what is important to you. And for me, it is communication.
Right.
Please communicate to me. I am the type of person that I want you to communicate back to me as soon as I communicate to you. I don't want to wait 24 hours. If that doesn't work for you, you're not for me, like that kind of a thing. So be very crystal clear, and then you'll find the right person. Then it came where I realized where I wanted to actually make more videos on my YouTube channel, but it was the editing that was taking so long. You probably already. Yep. And I just thought, I should not do this. But I felt like, and this is another kind of limiting belief we have, I felt like no one's going to be able to edit it the way I want the message to come through. So I had to get through that limiting belief and then say, look, I have to maybe get better at just speaking my message very clearly first. Then it'll be easier.
The editing becomes easy.
Exactly.
It's that personal growth thing, right?
Exactly. So then I hired a full-time video editor, and it's perfect. It's perfect. So I have that. And then I also hired someone to help me with my social media. But I am starting something new here in September, and I am not going to let someone do my social media anymore. Here comes back. This might be a good tip for someone. So I'll share my growth, because I've been on actual holidays for the month of August here. And I just go into receiving mode, because to me, September almost feels, I guess it's my teacher days, but it almost feels like a new start. I don't know.
It does, totally.
And I just wanted to receive, because this whole Instagram thing was, I love it. It's my main platform that I adore, as well as YouTube. But I thought there has to be another way for me, because I don't want to even spend time writing out the descriptions for the posts that my media creates for me. So what are my unique talents? Speaking, teaching. For me, getting on video is my comfort zone, whereas for other people, it's like,
they're like, woo, freaking
yeah.
out.
But for me, it's my comfort zone. I can pick up my phone and I can just go, boom, say something. And every single day I have so many downloads and I'm like constantly writing down, and I get overwhelmed because there's so many messages I want to share. And I thought, oh, I'm never going to be able to make so many YouTube videos. And then I realized I can come on Instagram every single day and do a short, quick thing that I've had downloaded to me. And that is enough. That is enough.
Nice.
And so I want you to give yourselves permission, to whoever is going to watch this. What is your unique programming? What are you naturally good at? What do you love doing? There are no rules. You create the system. You use it so it matches you. And so that's my next.
So true. I love that. We have what's called our piece of cake policy. It's one of our policies in our policies and procedures in our company. And it came from, I have two partners in my business, and it came from me struggling with a piece of work that I was trying to get done. And it was something that my partner is also Karen, just to be confusing. So Karen was going to do it and she was busy doing some other things. So I pulled it to me because it kind of needed to get done. And I was like banging my head against the wall. And I finally said to her, I can't do this. Like, it's not, this is not my thing. And she's like, well, what have you got? And she looked at it and in like 15 minutes was able to so we started talking about this and we're like, we wanted to do this business very differently than we've done before, where it always felt like it was pushing and forcing and hard. We want this to be fun and easy and flowing. And so we said, okay, we're not allowed to do anything that's not our piece of cake. There are three of us. Amongst the three of us, this is going to be somebody's piece of cake. And if it's not, that's when we need to bring somebody in to fill that gap. And so we were super clear that marketing as a sort of main element was not any of our pieces of cake. And so we ended up finding an amazing company. You'll love this. We actually found our company by muscle testing. It's such a fun story. But so we found this amazing company in England that is our marketing team, and they're amazing. And so we feel like they're doing their piece of cake. I got you. They're doing their piece of cake. We're doing ours in the company. We each do our piece of cake. And when it's not our thing, it's time to move it on to somebody else. And it just makes it such a difference, so much more fun.
It's a joy. It's a pleasure. And that joy creates spaciousness. And just that spaciousness is where all creativity comes in. It's high vibe. It's the best thing. It's the best thing. So yeah, congratulations for that.
I love it. I love it. It's so much fun to chat with you, Erin. Thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it. It's always good to hear fresh voices, to hear a different perspective, and to see what other people are doing, and how I know the elegant life that you have is what a lot of people are interested in pursuing. And so it's really nice to see like a real person who is doing it. I know our people are going to be really interested in this interview.
Awesome. So great to meet you, and best to everybody. You're on the right path. Just totally be you. Bring as much of you, everything you love, everything you like, everything that makes you, bring that to your business. And I promise you, it will start to grow and flourish.
Fabulous. Thanks so much, Erin.